World fans, and we've got another very special interview lined up for you. We are at Suzuki South Africa headquarters, Suzuki Motorcycles, and we're going to chat to Stuart Baker, the man, the head in charge of Suzuki Motorcycles here in South Africa. Stuart, thank you so much for taking out the time. Just want to chat to you about the Suzuki brands, not so much 2020, but in 2021, some exciting times. Starting off, you've just launched an iconic bike. We'll talk about that just now. But some exciting things coming with the new showroom and this new bike we're going to talk about. But to start off with, your little 150 and 250 machines, can't get enough of them. Priced right. I love how they've put the MotoGP styling on. They are such edgy looking bikes. You park it somewhere and it could easily be a 600 super sport bike. How's those models going for you?
They're doing really well for us, and the 150's done nicely on the commercial front as well as on the the fairing side for the kids and that sort of stuff. I think they've taken off really nicely. The LED was a nice upgrade.
Definitely.
The new look is really cool. And the 250 is gaining traction. It was relatively new kid on the block. The 150 was already established with the older shape. It's gaining traction. We're doing more and more of them every day. As you say, stock is the only challenge now. We've got to get them to ship some more to us all the time.
Okay, and then your GSX 5000, the best value superbike in the market in South Africa, certainly the R and the base model at the prices that you guys sell them for. I've got 20 Rand cash in my wallet that I'm willing to give you if you could tell me some news on when we can expect a new GSX-R.
I think you should keep your $20. just keep your $20.
Okay, never mind there. But I mean, GSX-R, at the prices you guys are doing in the base and the R, you can't get any better. We did a test a couple of months ago where we went down to PE and that, and overall, at those prices, you've got a bike that does everything, got the electronic package, got the performance you want. How are those bikes doing in dealers?
They take over quite nicely. We hold a reasonable market share with the things, so they're not underperforming. The new ones are just arriving. 2021 colours are here. I've got some R's which have just arrived, or just arriving now towards the end of the month. We've got stock of the things, and they tick over nicely. About as expectation. I mean, we've got to look at it and say it's no longer late 200s is a good price, but it's still a price. I think they'll be alright for it. So I've got a fair amount of them.
It's a lot of motorbike for, like you said, not a lot of money in these days, considering what we pay for bread and milk. But anyway, Suzuki just launched their virtual showroom, and with that came the new Busa. Everyone's been waiting for this, especially here in South Africa. Springs have gone absolutely crazy because now there's a new Busa from it on motorcycles.
Yvonne's going to hurt you.
Yvonne's going to hurt me. But finally, this new Busa. Now, judging from what I've seen the response on, there's a love-hate relationship already with this new Busa. A lot of guys, the die-hard Busa fans, saying, yes, we love it, kept the Busa DNA, refined it in a lot of ways, added a good electronics package, added this new styling. But then there's the other side of the spectrum saying, why no turbo? Why no this? They should have done more. It's the same bike, just with new styling. Tell us about your impression of the Busa.
I think the Busa's perfect. And everybody's going to say, he's paid to say that. Yeah, I am. I think the look of it had to be Busa.
Yeah.
And I think from a distance, that's a Busa.
Yeah.
And some of the comments have been, oh no, they should have revolutionized it. In what way? I'm confused as I don't understand in what way. If it didn't look like a Busa, then why were we calling it a Busa? So I think it had to stay like that. They couldn't go away from the sometimes odd sort of shape of the Busa, because that's what made the Busa's name. The electronics package on it is great for us. It's got all that the GSX-RR has and some more bells and whistles on it. I like the user mode that you can set. If you want good engine braking, go for it. If you don't, turn it off. Doesn't matter. I like that idea behind it, and it's programmable once and stays there, which is also important to me. I don't want to get on something and have to set it every time I get on it. I'm not interested in that. So I like that whole thing about it. As far as the engine's concerned, I'm quietly reserved. I want to ride it first.
Yes.
If we take the DL 1050, they did the same sort of thing with the DL in the sense that they meaned out the middle a little bit, made it a little bit better on the mid-range, which is the rideable area.
Yes.
If you ride a DL 1000 against a DL 1050, there's definitely a different feeling to it.
Yes.
The Busa, if you look at the graphs, is the same idea.
Yeah, in some places it's less than previous.
100%. But the aerodynamics are better, the weight is a little bit better. I just think it's just making more sense. I think South Africans, we have a problem. We've got long, wide, open roads and nobody who stops us from being slightly ludicrous. at what point do we need to understand that the European guys are to a whole different set of rules?
Yes.
And we certainly don't buy all the buses in the world. So in order to keep it to the Euro 5, I think they had some interesting things there. And to go and develop a new turbo motor or supercharged motor or whatever it was that all the guys were expecting, and then still have to constrict it in order to fit in with Euro 5, I don't know. I'm not a technical guy, I'm a rider. I sell motorbikes. I'm quite keen to ride the thing. I think it's going to be.
I agree with you on that point. I think sometimes spec sheets guys overlook them and laugh at them, but when you ride the actual bike 100%. And the way they built it, like I said, where they put the power in there, I agree with. Like you said, touching upon that, you've got to take Euro 5 into consideration. So had Suzuki gone with a supercharged turbo 4000cc Hayabusa that everyone wanted, and then it came in at a price tag at 600,000, you idiots. So you idiots either way. What I like what they've done is, I think they could have maybe done one or two things a little bit better, but the Japanese are conservative, we know that. But like you said, they brought out a Busa that stems Busa DNA, and you've released a price which I like at 329,000 Rand. Looking at getting the bikes in October, November this year, you can go to a dealer now and secure your bike with a deposit. But I think at that price, we're going to get a Hayabusa that people are going to go, okay, they got it right, and we maybe got it wrong by writing it off so early.
I think you also, for those, I mean, I am in love with the Busa completely. 10 years ago, I would have had a slightly different opinion. Then I ended up with one.
Yes.
It's a company vehicle, and I rode 25,000 Ks in 4 months on the thing. I'm not in love with it. I love the way what it does, and if I had to buy a bike today, it would be a Busa. And I think there's nothing with the old Busa that needed to be radically improved to make it a better ride. So I'm very anxious to ride the new one and have a look and see with the new electronics and such on it. I'm old school. This grey stuff is genuine stuff. So traction control to me is something that's controlled by the throttle end. You know, some of the younger guys I ride with, they love their traction control. They constantly got stuff glaring at them. I think it's important that the Busa keeps up to date with that. You know, keeping the round clocks. There's been some criticism about the round clocks still being analog. What does the clock do? It tells you the speed. Does that one tell you the speed? Yes, it does, but it would remain Busa. I was laughing when I saw the teaser video. You know, they sent us the teaser out slightly before it went out there. And the moment we looked at it, the comment was still, this is the teaser video, but we may not say that it's still Busa being launched. And I was giggling because I thought anybody who knows anything about a Busa, the minute he saw those clocks, he certainly didn't think that it was something other than Busa. So they are iconic, and I think that's where they needed to be. And there was a large discussion about what the clock should and shouldn't be from the other distributors in the world, and it's, I can tell you, I think it was pretty much split down the middle. I'm very cool with it. I think we've got the right mix of old and new.
That's the thing. I think the mixture, and it's always easy for us guys to sit back and criticize, but like I said, from what I've seen from our social media side, there's a love hate. There's guys saying we absolutely love the old school dash analog, and there's some saying we want a little bit more new tech. But I think for the target market of that bike, I think Suzuki might have got it spot on, because you're not going to get an 18-year-old buying a Hayabusa to go absolute crazy on. You're going to get your middle age and upwards doing the long distance from here to George on the Busa. And the styling, when I first looked at it, I thought, yeah, maybe they could have done more. But then, like you said, what more did you want them to do to keep it Busa? And then I looked at it, and the more and more I look at it, it's Busa, it's new modern day Busa, which I think was important. So I'm interested to see when that bike comes. Hopefully we can obviously get a demo, we can do a proper test on it. And then I think once people sample and ride that bike, it's going to be, okay, spec sheet forgotten about, they've built a bike that works. So I'm really interested and keen for that. You were talking about your DL. You've got your DLs available in South Africa. It's the updated, it's the new version. Like you said, in some ways they've gone backwards with power figures and stuff, but all round, I know you really love this motorbike, and you're trying to get people into the saddle so that they can ride the bike, because like you said, sometimes maybe looking at the spec sheet and guys might not want to buy it compared to the opposition. But ride the bike and you're going to be sold. You didn't exercise with a guy that's a diehard old school DL fan, rode the new one and went, okay, now I understand.
So I think for the DL 1050, the upgrade that was done on it was the right direction. What are we expecting out of new motorbikes now? The amounts of upgrades that we can have on them now compared to what we could 20 years ago, there's only incremental bits that they can put on them now, and still keep within our Euro 5 miles.
Well, that's what you said. 10, 15 years ago, you could make these radical
100%.
inventions, but we've got to a point like Where do you go now?
So DL 1050, I love it. I've got about 12,500 Ks on my current one. My previous one had about 10 on it. I've privileged that I've managed to have 2 in the time they've been out here. There's 1 or 2 little perks to the job. I use it to work and back as often as I can, pretty much every day. I've got a pannier set on it. I think it ticks all the boxes, and I'm a lot more road than I am off-road. I'm not a big fan of the sand thing. I let Chris and Clint go out and plow those things. I love it. I ride every Sunday morning on it. I've got my kids on the back of it. I think the upgrade was right.
Yes.
The old bike was good. This bike is gooder.
Another Suzuki word, Stuart Baker Suzuki word.
I think for the guys which are out there, which are keen on it, please, if you want to test ride one of them, get hold of one of your dealers and let's set it up properly that you get to go out and do 150.
Yeah, not just take it around the block.
The 10k test ride around the block does not show the differences on the current bike compared to the older bike. On a lot of the manufacturers having the same problem because it's only incremental. It's not this massive thing.
Yes.
So please get hold of your dealer. It's obviously a hell of a lot easier for me in Joburg.
Yes.
I do have a demo in Cape Town as well. Get hold of your dealer, get them to contact us and see if we can't do it for longer than a 10 kilometre spin around the block. Okay. And I think that's been the problem with a lot of the stuff. After 150 Ks, our die-hard V-Strom person who rides a DL1000 said to me, no, now he gets it.
No, he understands.
In the first 15 Ks, he couldn't understand what the difference was. What's the point?
Well, why spend the extra money on that?
100%. So, yeah, if there's anybody out there who wants, get hold of us and let's see what we can sort.
Get to your Suzuki dealer and get that. Very impressive piece of kit, like you said, and I think it works for our South African conditions. I've got another 50 Rand cash in my pocket. I've just been to the ATM. Exciting new stuff coming in 21 that you can tell us about?
So what I think you should probably do with that $50 is you can probably get 2 Streetwise 2s because at least you can get that now. Look towards the end of the year. Let's see what shakes out at the end of the year. You know, we never know what falls out of the tree at the end of the year.
Let's see then. Stuart, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to us. Exciting times for Suzuki. It's great to see the brand just getting better, getting more exciting, and a couple of things coming in the new year. New Hayabusa, get down to your dealer, find out more. You can put deposits down for those coming October, November this year. I think it's going to really blow people's socks off for that. Even though you don't think so on the spec sheet, I think it is going to, and some exciting things coming. Get onto the virtual showroom. You can go to suzukiglobal.com, I think it is. Find out more there. You can create an avatar and walk around and be kind of a video game in a Suzuki dealership there and meet some other people there. So exciting times, and Stuart, just keep on doing the great job that you're doing at Suzuki. I think you guys are keeping it nice and niche. I think you guys aren't trying to go too big, too flashy. I think you're keeping it nice and simple, even from your dealer side. I think you've got a good dealer network going, and just keep on doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Rob. We'll keep pushing.